Okay, so you're here with us because you really want to understand what's happening in the world. You want to get to the important stuff, without drowning in an ocean of information. Basically, you want to be in the know, but efficiently right.
Right.
Well, for you, today's deep dive is going to take us to a really interesting place. We're going to be looking at how artificial intelligence is completely changing the game when it comes to making music videos.
Yeah, it's a pretty huge shift when you think about it. I mean, music and visuals have always, they've always been connected, right? They kind of each one makes the other one stronger.
Yeah.
But now AI isn't just, helping out a little. It's like becoming a core part of how those visuals are actually made and how they come to life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all have those music videos that are like burned into our brains, right? Those images that are just so unforgettable and they fit perfectly with the song. But to make videos like that, it used to mean you had to spend a ton of money. You needed camera crews. You had all this post-production work. It was a whole complicated thing. But what we're going to explore today is how AI is making that whole process, available to everyone. It's really democratizing it. We're going to break down how it's making it possible for way more artists to make high-quality music videos. And it doesn't matter how much money they have or who they know. And we're going to take a good look at some of the big tools that are driving this change. We're going to focus especially on this platform called freebeat.ai.
Yeah. So like what's really groundbreaking here is how AI is like breaking down all these barriers that have been around forever. The cost, the time it takes, the fact that you needed all these special technical skills. Those were big roadblocks, right? Especially for musicians and filmmakers who were just starting out or, working independently. But now, thanks to machine learning, we have algorithms that can actually create visuals, understand what the lyrics are saying, and even sync up the footage to the beat and the flow of the music in a smart way. And it's not just about making things faster or cheaper. It's really about changing who gets to be a part of telling stories with music and visuals.
And a big player in all of this really exciting development is freebeat.ai.
Yeah.
And it's not just, one simple thing. It's a whole set of tools, all powered by AI, and they're designed to really boost creative possibilities.
Yeah.
It's giving artists these brand new ways to bring their music to life visually. I mean, we're talking ideas that, maybe just a few years ago would seem impossible.
Totally. If we kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture, what we're seeing is that making music videos is becoming a much more level playing field.
Yeah.
Platforms like freebeat.ai are giving power to artists who are independent, who are up and coming, who might not have that, the traditional funding or these big production teams. Now they can just focus on, the art itself, their creative expression, and the AI can help them turn that into a really cool visual experience. And they don't need a ton of money to pay for studios and equipment and a giant crew.
Exactly. So you could have this indie artist, right? They've got an amazing song, but they're on a super tight budget. Suddenly they've got these tools that can help them make visuals that really capture the feeling of their music. Or think about an electronic music producer, someone who's making these super experimental soundscapes that are totally unique. AI gives them a way to create visuals that are just as groundbreaking and unconventional.
Absolutely. And it's not just about, saving money or speeding up production. What's really exciting is how AI is opening up this huge amount of creative potential for visual storytelling. Okay. It's not just making things we already do a bit faster. It's letting artists try out ideas that were basically impossible before because they were too technically hard or just too much of a logistical nightmare.
Okay, so let's get into that creative potential a bit more. Can you give us some actual examples of what AI can do in this creative world?
Yeah, sure. Imagine this. An AI is looking at the lyrics of a song, right? And it figures out the emotional tone, the main themes, and then it creates these abstract visuals. They're almost like dreamlike, and they directly match the feeling of the song. Or picture this. Animated sequences that aren't just random. They're really carefully timed. They're synced up to the exact beat and the phrases in the music.
Yeah.
So you get this truly immersive experience where the audio and the visuals are totally in sync.
Yeah.
And we're even starting to see the potential for real-time customization. This means the visuals could like subtly change or evolve depending on how the audience is reacting or even things in the environment.
Wow, that's a really cool idea. Visuals that change live. That is wild.
Yeah.
It really does sound like these platforms, freebeat.ai being a great example, are really blurring the lines between making music, coming up with new technology, and the art of storytelling.
Right.
It's like we're entering this whole new creative territory that's totally uncharted.
Yeah, exactly. So for you listening right now, if you're thinking, this all sounds amazing, but like, how do I actually do this? Let's switch gears and talk about the practical side of creating music videos with AI. We should cover some of the main AI tools and platforms that are out there for artists who want to, make visuals for their music.
And like we've already talked about, freebeat.ai is putting itself out there as this really powerful and easy to use option in this space. It's not just about making basic visuals. It's got these AI-assisted editing features, smart suggestions for storyboarding, and a whole bunch of cool visual effects that are made specifically to work well with music.
Yeah. That's right. But it's also important for you to know that freebeat.ai is just one part of this bigger world of AI-powered creative tools. There are other platforms out there that are focused on generative art, which can make these super striking and original abstract visuals. Then there's animation software that uses deep learning. This can bring characters and scenes to life with a level of smoothness and detail that used to take forever to do by hand. And then there are even specialized tools that can automatically color grade your video and give it that polished professional look.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a whole spectrum of AI help available. You've got platforms that can basically walk you through making the entire video from like suggesting a basic story all the way to creating these dynamic visual effects as you're working. And then you've got tools that are more specific and they focus on very particular tasks like creating complex CGI or using AI to make your existing footage look better and higher quality.
Exactly. And what makes freebeat.ai really interesting is that it tries to combine a lot of these key AI functions into one platform. So everything's in one place. And this makes it a lot easier to use and manage, especially for creators who maybe don't have that technical background or just don't want to have to learn a bunch of different software programs and workflows.
Okay, so let's get practical here. Let's say someone's listening, they're feeling inspired and they want to create their own AI-powered music video. Let's break down the steps they need to take.
Good idea.
Okay.
Okay, step one, and this is super important. Even before you touch any AI tool, you've got to define your creative vision.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do with this video? What's the message, the emotion, or the vibe you want to get across with your music? Take some time to brainstorm the core concept, the theme, and maybe some story elements. Even if you're leaning towards abstract visuals and not like a traditional story, having a clear direction is going to be your guide through the whole process.
That makes total sense. You wouldn't
Right.
start writing a song without a musical idea, right?
Right.
So step one, know what you want to create visually. What's next?
Okay, so step two is all about choosing the right AI tools, the ones that fit your creative goals. Like we've been talking about, there are more and more platforms out there, and they all have their own strengths and features. If you're really interested in AI helping you edit, creating animated stories, and getting that perfect sync between your music and the visuals, then freebeat.ai would definitely be a good one to check out. It's all about matching what the tools can do with the vision you came up with in step one.
Okay, so you've got your concept and you've picked your AI platform. What happens next?
So step three is where you take your music and your lyrics, if you have them, and you put them into the AI platform.
Okay.
This is where the AI gets to work analyzing stuff. Platforms like freebeat.ai are built to look at the sound of your track, the tempo, the rhythms, the overall mood, and if you give them the lyrics, it looks at those too. This analysis helps the AI suggest visual themes, styles, and directions that would work well. It's like a bridge between what you created musically and how that could look visually.
So the AI isn't just throwing together pretty pictures randomly, right? It's trying to understand the heart of your music and what it's saying.
Exactly. Which leads us to step four, making those first visuals. This is where you tell the AI to start creating scenes, characters, and visual effects. And it does this based on how it understood your music and any specific creative ideas you give it. Usually you can customize different things about the visuals, like the style, the colors, and the transitions to make sure they match what you're going for. And as we talked about earlier, platforms like freebeat.ai often let you make changes in real time, so you can tweak the visuals as they're being made and make sure they stay true to your vision.
That sounds so cool, being able to control things and see the changes live as the AI is working.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens once you've got those initial visuals?
Step five is where you edit and refine what the AI made. AI can make some awesome stuff, but those first results usually need a human touch to really shine. You probably want to use some editing software to polish those visuals. This could mean adjusting the lighting and the colors, making the transition smoother, and making sure that the pacing and rhythm of the visuals really match the music and the emotions of your song.
So even with all the power of AI, the artist's vision and their editing skills are still super important.
Oh, absolutely. And the final step, step six, is adding those finishing touches. This is where you polish everything to give it that professional, high-quality feel. This can include things like getting the colors just right throughout the video, carefully balancing the music with any sound effects you want to add, and creating titles and end credits that look professional. These details might seem small, but they can really make a huge difference in how your music video looks and feels overall.
Yeah, that's a really clear and helpful breakdown. It makes creating a music video with AI seem a lot less intimidating. So to really show what's possible here, let's talk about some examples of what's actually being done. Who is using AI like this and what kind of results are they getting?
We're already seeing some really cool stuff. Like we mentioned earlier, artists like Taryn Southern have been at the forefront of this. Her track, Break Free, uses these amazing AI-generated visuals, and we're hearing more and more about artists who are using platforms like freebeat.ai to turn their music into these immersive experiences where their own creativity and what AI can do really come together.
So what kind of new visual techniques or styles are we seeing from this collaboration between artists and AI?
It's really diverse and it's changing all the time. Some artists are playing with this aesthetic called vaporwave. They're using AI to create these surreal, kind of retro-futuristic visuals that fit perfectly with certain types of music.
Yeah.
Others are making these super detailed and imaginative futuristic environments with AI, environments that would have been way too expensive or taken way too long to make using traditional 3D modeling or CGI. What's really exciting is that tools like freebeat.ai are making these complex and expensive visual styles something that more creators can experiment with.
Yeah, it really sounds like the creative possibilities are just exploding. But it's important to be realistic too, right? What are some of the challenges or limitations that artists might run into when they're working with AI?
Yeah, that's a great point. AI is powerful and flexible, but it's not a perfect solution. It's not like magic. Artists should know that what the AI creates might need quite a bit of editing and direction to really match what they're going for. And even though AI is getting better and better at understanding creative ideas and responding to them, it can still be a little tough for it to capture those really subtle emotions or the complexities of a story in the same way that a human director would.
So AI can create these stunning visuals that are full of imagination, but it might not always get those little emotional cues or the complicated parts of a story that a human artist is trying to convey.
Exactly. But it's really encouraging to see that platforms like freebeat.ai are always working to improve their AI models. They're listening to what users are saying and trying to give artists more control and flexibility in the creative process. The technology is always moving forward, so these limitations are probably going to be solved over time.
And at the end of the day, it seems like the best way to work with AI is to think of it as a collaborator, not as a replacement for human creativity.
Definitely. AI should be a tool that helps you take your ideas further, helps you explore new creative avenues that you might not have thought of, and takes care of some of the more technical or time-consuming parts of making a video.
Yeah.
But the artist's unique vision, their voice, that should always be the core of the project. Platforms like freebeat.ai are designed to be creative partners. They're there to help and empower human directors, not to replace them.
Okay, so looking into the future, what do you think music videos will look like in this world where AI is playing a bigger and bigger role in creativity?
It's looking really dynamic and full of potential. We're already seeing these fast advancements in things like neural rendering and real-time animation, and these technologies are about to change how stories are told visually in music videos. I think these developments are going to lead to experiences that are even more immersive, more personal, and maybe even interactive for viewers.
So where does a platform like freebeat.ai fit into this future?
From what I can see, Freebeat.ai seems to be putting itself at the forefront of all this exciting stuff. They're constantly adding new AI features that will let artists create music videos that are more and more personalized and maybe even interactive, tailored to their audience.
Yeah.
The idea of visuals that can change and adapt in real time based on what the viewer is doing or other things happening in the environment is really exciting.
So it's not just about making a video that's fixed and plays the same way every time. There's this potential for a much more dynamic relationship between the music, the visuals, and each person watching.
Exactly. The future of music videos is super bright, and artificial intelligence is going to be a big part of shaping it. Whether you're a musician just starting out or a director who's been doing this for a while, if you want to try new things, embracing AI-powered tools like freebeat.ai is a great way to do it.
Yeah.
It's a chance to completely change how music is seen and how people experience it. The time to start playing around with these platforms and seeing what they can do is now.
So the big takeaway for you, our listener, is this. AI isn't some far-off sci-fi thing. It's here now, it's changing fast, and it's totally reshaping how music videos are made. It's making it possible for artists from all walks of life with any amount of resources to bring their musical visions to life in a visual way.
And if we think about the bigger picture, this means that more people have access to these AI video tools. And that's not just going to change how music videos are made. It's going to change how we tell stories with visuals in music and maybe even in other creative fields. When these barriers of budget, technical skills, and logistics start to come down, who knows what amazing new forms of art might appear.
Yeah.
It's a pretty profound and exciting thing to think about as we move into the future.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and music video creation. Until next time.
Thanks for having me.